How are you guys? Welcome back to Wargaming China. And today we're back at Little Bengbu and it's turn 12 and the Japanese have managed to get 2 battalions in across the river Huai and take this building, this building, this building and that building, these 4 buildings. The Chinese are still occupying these 3 buildings, which means the 337th Brigade is still holding Bengbu. And historically that was so because as I played the game, I thought, I'll make it for 12 turns, and if they are still holding Little Bengbu at 12 turns, that's enough time for the rest. The 640th Regiment, or 643rd Regiment, to come up. So, the Chinese managed it. It was a good game. The Japanese certainly had a lot of fire support on the table. They had 6 75mm guns on table and 2 105mm guns on table, plus all the battalion 70mm guns, 137mm gun in each bunker, 2 Otsus, 2 command cavalry cars, cavalry combat cars, loads of machine guns, and the engineering company just started to set up on turn 11. I mean, this game was a very good game, and if you remember in my last video I was discussing how I was going to do the river crossing. Well, I decided that the boats could cross in 4 turns, but it would take 1 turn for embarkation. So I started with the boats here, with the troops already embarked, and that meant that the 3rd wave was never going to get here by turn 12. But the 2 Japanese battalions certainly managed to take the majority of the town. The 1st battalion took very heavy casualties as it crossed the river, and as it entered this building, it received more casualties through small arms fire and had to roll for morale, and it failed morale, and then retreated to this wooded hill. But after a couple of goes it rallied, and by that time the next battalion had come up and basically landed without any casualties at all, or very few casualties, and then proceeded up the street. If you remember my last video, there were actually 2 Chinese 105 Type 14s set up here for indirect fire. Now I allowed that for the Northeastern Army only once, and their fire was devastating. They knocked out these 2 75mm gun battery, which the Japanese were a bit arrogant and set up in the street in plain view of the Chinese, and they suffered for that. And then the 105s withdrew, and throughout the game this 77.7mm Type 14 gun was moved throughout the town and did some damage before it was knocked out. The Chinese Air Force did make an appearance in this game, but on turn 4. But unfortunately, on turn 5, the Japanese aeroplanes arrived. I mean, this time it's the wrong plane, but you know, needs a must when it double drives. The Chinese Air Force was quickly driven off. But then again, the Japanese plane on its third turn was driven off by Chinese small arms fire. So, very good game. And it did reflect the fighting that actually happened in Bengbu. Because indeed, even though the Chinese had wrestled control of the town back from the Japanese by the 10th, fighting for Bengbu, and indeed for other places like Lin Haiguan, would continue, and the Japanese would be trying to force more river crossings than the one they'd been successful at Haiyuan. And forces at Haiyuan are now pushing on Bengbu, and that we will see, next time we will see the arrival of the Zhang Zhuzhong's 59th Army, or we'll see a counterattack by the 31st Army. I haven't decided yet, but as you can see in Little Bengbu, the Japanese are still on the offensive, and as the 51st, as the reinforcements for the 51st, the other regiment of the brigade would be entering here. I'm not too sure how they would, because for the Japanese main goal is to access this side of the railway so they can fix the bridge. And until they do that, they'll be using improvised boats for landings and assaults across the river. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll just show some more pictures of the game. Some of the guns I fielded today. Today I fielded a Hotchkiss 37mm auto cannon for this game. 2 105s. I managed to get off table. A 20mm Oerlikon that was knocked out by the Japanese. The Chinese casualties are down to about 80%. The other 2 battalions were down. Morale cracked after a series of morale tests. They finally cracked. So yeah, casualties so far are about 80%, which is right for the historic battle. But we'll still call this a I don't know, what would we call this? Chinese are still in the town, they haven't got there. So yeah, tactical Chinese victory. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you'll press like, and if you watch this channel and you haven't subscribed, you really should, because you know, you just bloody should. See ya.